So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to set up your hand torch, make sure it's set up properly. Now, a couple of side notes. One, if you have a Hypertherm hand torch system, especially the Duramax lock torches, they have this unique locking feature. Also, Hypertherm has made it impossible to fire a hand torch system using a CPC port or a CNC connection. For Hypertherms, they've put that block in, so what you'd have to do is actually tell this, actually wire in a trigger either into here or do something funky with the pins that we actually don't recommend doing at all. So you'd actually have to wire a physical connection that causes this hand torch to fire the way it's supposed to. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and break into getting this whole set up. All right, so this is the hand torch bracket. The torch goes here, the head of the torch comes out this particular portion here, and then this slides into the machine torch assembly on the Z-axis head there. So you'll slide this in, lock it in with the 2 pins, and we're always going to make sure that the torch is facing the Z-axis. We don't want this to be underneath the Z-axis. We want this to be facing the Z-axis. Then we're going to take our hand torch, we're going to slide it in to this point, slide it in all the way, making sure that your torch head is aligned with this piece. And based on the angle that your hand torch is, whether it's 75, whether it is 90, want to make sure that this particular tube is lined up with it so that you always have a parallel point on from your Z-axis to the head of your hand torch. Otherwise, you're going to get an uneven kerf or a bent kerf throughout your cuts. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide a zip tie through the top, and then we're going to slide it through back underneath, weaving it back through in order to make sure that we can lock this puppy down onto here. Same thing, we're going to do it across here, through again, and then again through one of these holes here. These multiple holes here allow you to adjust whether you have a Hypertherm hand torch or if it's one of those Everlast hand torches. Hand torch configurations differ, and all we've done is just compensated for it with this bracket. So attach and lock that in, then slide that in this way and wrap your hand torch wire back up and over to your table and to your wire arm. I'll show you as an example using an Everlast hand torch as well. Slide that in, make sure it's all the way over. Now this is an unshielded consumable. It does present issues. Unshielded consumables, we prefer to use shielded. This will work, it's just not our favorite situation. And again, you're going to go through with your zip tie, slide it through the top. This one has a slightly wider head here, so we're just going to have to weave it around it and back underneath in order to get that to lock in. Same thing on the back side. And then you're good to go. Do the same process all the way down the line. Slide this up into your machine, make sure it's locked in, make sure your hand torch doesn't move. As plasma is a non-contact system, there's going to be no torque applied to the head, so it's not going to, let's say, need to be completely freaked out about these zip ties. These zip ties will hold this thing tight, and as long as the cutting head is parallel to the cutting surface, or I'm sorry, the cutting flame is perpendicular to the cutting surface, you'll be good to go. And that's a basic setup on a hand torch. Let us know if you have any other questions. Reach out by phone or by email. We'll make sure you're taken care of.